welcome to B.D.S.M, Bard School for Morons, where wit is low and laughs are high.
Hi, I'm Bard, and this is Bard's Driving School for Morons, where what's done in the dark always comes to the light. Today's video is a bit different than what you may be used to, but I wanted to share this with the rest of the class. I'll play the video up until a certain point. I want you guys to think about what's happening on the screen and what is wrong.
Lessons in nonsense you'll adore. Who needs rules when chaos scores? Morons unite to boggle the mind. Quick wit, now we're leaving it behind. Bards and jesters laugh on cue. A circus of chaos.
So, does anyone have any guesses? Let's watch the video again. This time, I'll let it play out a little longer.
Quick wit, now we're leaving it behind. Bards and jesters laugh on cue. A circus of chaos just for you. B.D.S.M, the letters that thrill. It's Bard School for Morons, a comedic drill.
This vehicle in front of me is an undercover cop. I was able to identify him as such the moment I spotted him on the road. One day I'll teach you guys how to identify an undercover vehicle in a future session. Until then, I want to make sure it's known that this UC was driving with me the entire time, playing cat and mouse. I wasn't speeding, I wasn't weaving, I wasn't in distress. They didn't want me in front of them. No matter how legally or calmly I drove, I matched their pace and mimicked their moves while doing my best not to provoke them. Now keep in mind that this UC has out-of-state tags. I'll touch more on that later. So this UC turns his emergency lights on me. He did so to try and intimidate me. Now, I know what some of you may be thinking. Bard, weren't you doing the exact same thing they were doing? And you'd be right. But if two people do the same thing, and one tries to weaponize their authority, who's actually the real problem here? As you can see, 2 lanes to my right, a gray pickup truck flies past us like he's waiting to try out something from Grand Theft Auto. The UC, still out of state, speeds up to give a civil chase between 2 separate lanes. The pickup wants to get in front of the UC, and the UC tries to prevent him, but doesn't get there in time. At this point, the pickup was driving much faster than I was, and well exceeding the speed limit. The pickup then begins to weave in and out of traffic. Not only do they get over, they jump 2 lanes to their right. The UC, again out of state, doesn't pursue, doesn't make their presence known, and doesn't attempt to control the flow of traffic with regards to the reckless driver of the pickup. Maybe public safety was never really the UC's concern? Here's the UC, here's the pickup. At this point, the pickup gets trapped behind other cars and attempts to get over from the 3rd lane to the 2nd lane. The cop realizes this and speeds up, just enough so that the pickup gets trapped behind the truck in front of him. The pickup gets over again and gets behind the UC and begins tailgating the UC. Again, there are no emergency lights from this out-of-state UC. This is far more egregious than anything the UC believed I did to them. So we are now in the state that this UC's vehicle is registered in. If this is a state trooper of this state, they have jurisdiction. Let's see how the officer handles this aggressive driver. Still no lights, still no warning. We're finally in the state that this officer works in. I believe that this was a moment to act. How do you think that they should have handled this passing aggressive moron? Because he didn't. Because enforcement is optional. So, for today's lessons, Lesson 1. Learn how to recognize an undercover vehicle. More on that in a future lesson. It will be okay if you know who is meant to protect and serve on the highway. Lesson 2. If you have safety lights, use them for safety, not for show. It will be okay if people around you match your pace. Lesson 3. Know who the real threats are on the road. It will be okay if you make sure dangerous roadsters are aware of your existence. Well, that's it for today's lessons. Thank you for joining Bard's Driving School for Morons. I'm Bard, and class is dismissed. Hey, Bard here. Don't forget to like my videos and subscribe to Paradise Guardian, where you can watch every lesson for Bard's Driving School for Morons, the best place to learn what to do in vehicular situations and how to determine motorists' motivations.